Okay, so this morning we'll start with introductions. I'll start with my introduction. We asked just four questions. What is your full name? Why are you looking to build a career or business in real estate? Why are you interested in Buzz Realty? Is there something specific about Buzz Realty that has you interested? And the last question is, do you feel that you would thrive in a virtual office? Yes or no, and why? All right, so I'll start first. My intro is going to be a little bit longer than yours, right? I ask all of you guys to just keep your intros to maximum 1 minute. Mine's a little bit longer because I'm giving it with the intention of having you guys learn as much about me and the brokerage as possible. All right. So my full name is Jerry Baptiste. Why real estate? Well, growing up as a child, real estate was always something that was a part of my upbringing. My parents, when I was 3 years old, my parents bought a house in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. They were landlords. They had a couple of tenants, you know, um, and although we, lived in the hood, um, my parents were landlords. And actually, I didn't realize how much of a blessing that was growing up. It wasn't until later in life I realized, wow, like that was unique. Most people are not landlords. Um, and so, I watched my dad acting as a landlord, collecting rent, dealing with maintenance issues, and that sort of thing. And I also, heard him many times talk about buying another property. And him and his brothers were flipping houses in South Carolina for a few years. When I was like in my teenage years. So real estate was always a part of my upbringing, and I didn't realize at the time that it would be something that I was passionate about later on in life. I started my career in 1999 when I graduated from college. I graduated with a bachelor's in mathematical sciences, and I went on to start working as an entry-level software developer. And I stayed with that from 1999. Actually, till current day, I still do software engineering work. However, I quit doing it full-time in 2019. So for 20 years, I was a full-time software engineer. And on the side, I was building my real estate business. So in 2008, I actually resigned from Lehman Brothers. At the time, they were the third largest global investment bank in the world. And they were one of the main banks that went bankrupt, which kind of spiraled into the great, what is it called? The Great Recession of like 2008, 2009, roughly. Um, So I was there working as a software engineer, making a lot of money, more money than most people ever see in a year. Um, and I was unhappy. I was making money, and you know, I was debt free and had just bought a house, and you know, that was my only debt, and I was saving a lot of money and investing a lot of money. But day to day, I was miserable because I had no life. Right. I was always stressed about my job. It was a very demanding job. I'd work some weeks I could work 60, 70 hours, and then other weeks I'll work 30, 35 hours. Right. So, I mean, it was a great profession. I have nothing really negative to say about it as a profession. But for me, after doing it for 10 years, I felt like I needed a change. So in 2006, I bought my first house. 2008, I resigned and got my real estate license. And I was at Fillmore Real Estate for 2 years. The first 6 months that I was there, I sold nothing, absolutely nothing. I made $0, and I was spending, you know, several $1,000s per month just to live, right? Just to pay my mortgage, just to pay my bills, just to, live a comfortable life. I wasn't a big spender, but I had big bills, mainly because of the house. So although, in the first 6 months, I didn't produce anything, and I couldn't figure out why, because I'm certainly not stupid. No one can say that I don't work hard, right? I was working hard. I was putting in a lot of hours, some weeks, 70 plus hours, and I was doing it full time. I had no other distraction. I wasn't, I didn't have any kids, that sort of thing. So I kind of threw my hands up in the air, like, I don't know what's going on. And it wasn't until, one of the owners of the company actually came to me and said, "Hey, I see you're trying hard. I see you have great potential. I can see that you're intelligent. I think if you just tweak a couple of things about how you operate, you can do really well in this business." And I said to him, "You know what? I'll do whatever you suggest because what I was doing wasn't working. Meanwhile, I was spending, 10 grand a month out of my savings just to survive. You can only do that for so long, right? Thank God I was blessed in a way to be able to go, at least a year and a half or so without earning money, but no one likes to see their savings just flushed down the drain like that. So I took his advice. I won't get into the details of what he advised, but it is included in the coaching that we do. So I took his advice, and the first 6 months I sold nothing. But then when I started taking his advice in the next 12 months, I sold 14 houses in 12 months, which is very unique for someone who's like literally in their first year of real estate, right? To sell 14 houses in 12 months, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. I would say that in any state, but especially in Brooklyn. And all my sales were in Brooklyn, right? So I won their Rookie of the Year award. I grossed GCI 190K. I was being praised as a rock star. He's a superstar, yeah. But out of that 190K, I only brought home about 85K. Now, for most people, 85K is a great living, and I totally respect that. But my situation at the time was I was used to earning, much more than that, well into the six figures. When you add bonus and benefits and all, it was well over 200K that I was earning on an annual basis. So for me to go from that to bringing home 80K plus I got business expenses, it was a huge pay cut for me. And most people didn't understand that, because they were like, oh, you should be happy making 80K, right? Not from where I was coming from. So I asked them to increase my commission split. They declined. And so it just kind of planted a seed in me. I just said to myself at that time, all right, well, clearly I can't stay here. All right. A 50-50 split at the time just wasn't going to work for me. Plus there was additional fees and all. So it just planted a seed. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to build a brokerage and I'm going to provide the brokerage agents with things that I wish I had right now. Those things are coaching, leads, reliable software systems, that sort of thing. And in 2 years' time, I actually started Buzz Realty, 2 years later in 2010. I had already accumulated all the points that I needed to apply to become a broker, because 14 sales, that'll do it, that's more than a qualification. So more than the points required to apply for a broker's license. So I got my broker's license immediately, and I waited until the 2-year mark just so that I can fulfill the New York State 2-year requirement, because you have to be an agent somewhere for 2 years before you can start your own. So as soon as that 2-year mark came, I resigned. Right? I no longer had a need for the brokerage that I was at. I was going to build my own thing. Now, it was a risky move because, I definitely knew that it was going to take a lot of money to build a brokerage, but I felt that it was a risk that I was willing to take, especially at the time. I was 31 years old, something like that, or 32. So I took the risk. So I've learned over the years that, I definitely am passionate about real estate. I started to answer the question, why Buzz Realty? I started the brokerage because I wanted to build a brokerage that everyone could be proud of. I wanted to build a brokerage that was honest. I wanted to build a brokerage that was tech savvy. I wanted to build a brokerage. And when I say tech savvy, I'll just give you a couple of examples. I don't understand why anybody would feel the need to use fax machines or print paper for anything, really, or, write paper checks when we have digital ways of moving money. We have electronic ways of signing documents, that sort of thing. So I wanted to build a brokerage that was, had a great reputation, served the people well, act in a compassionate manner with integrity, following all laws and ethics. And, our edge was going to be technology. We were going to compete with the bigger brokerages by leveraging technology in ways that most brokerages don't, right? So that's what we're doing right now at Buzz Realty. And I also wanted to build a brokerage that would provide things that I think any new agent needs. Those things are coaching, leads, or at least, coaching on how to generate leads, right? If you're not going to get leads directly, you got to have solid software systems, and you got to have, well-defined processes And, if you happen to have a great team culture, that helps too, right? So that's what we're building at Buzz Realty. Now, do I feel that I would thrive in a virtual office? Yes, I do. And the reason is, as a software engineer, I spent numerous years working remotely. As a software engineer, as long as you got a good laptop with a good Wi-Fi connection, you can pretty much work from anywhere on the planet, right? There's no requirement necessarily for you to be physically in an office. Those days of technology are long gone. So I worked from home for years prior to getting into real estate. And I've learned the ways that you build and lead teams remotely and have them be productive, cohesive, you know, um, and just overall happy. So I think we're doing a good job with the virtual office we have at Buzz Realty. All right, so guys, that's my intro. I know it was long, but I hope it gave you guys, a lot of good information about me and the brokerage and why we exist. Um, I would like for each of you to give an intro, and we'll take it from there. All right, now we'll talk about how do licensed agents get paid. Um, I always mention this early on in the presentation because it's one of the main questions that um, I get from people that are interested in real estate. So when you decide to become a licensed real estate salesperson in New York, well, right now it's New York State, but we are expanding. Um, you earn your pay primarily from commissions that you earn by completing sales and or rental transactions. Typically, there's no base salary or hourly wage. That being said, I have seen at least one brokerage that does offer a base salary, right? So it looks like there's some brokerages out there that are, looking into the possibility of offering agents base salaries and or hourly wages. However, Buzz Realty, we do not offer base salary or hourly wage. Now, that being said, often is the case that internally we'll offer money to agents for helping with certain things. Like, for example, I'm someone on a team may have a listing that needs to be vacated, right? Sometimes people sell houses and they just leave the house with furniture or whatever left behind. Someone's got to get rid of it, right? So sometimes we'll do like estate sales or, coordinate having furniture being picked up for a donation or, fill in a dumpster, right? So if you're interested and you're available and you want to do, stuff like that to help out, the brokerage certainly will compensate you via Zelle payments. We do payments electronically, so you would be paid for those types of activities. Sometimes teammates are paying for an individual showing or to host an open house. So, you can certainly get paid for doing for helping out in those ways as well. How do you get licensed? Well, in New York State, and I'm pretty sure it's all states, I believe, it's required that you take a course and pass a test. Here in New York, the course is 75 hours. You can choose to take it online or in person, your choice. And one of the schools that offers it online is the URL you see on the screen, realestateu.com. Now, we do not have any affiliation with this particular real estate school. The only reason I bring it up and mention them or recommend them is because I know that the fee they charge is very affordable. It's only $99 for the course. I've seen other schools charging as high as $400 for the same course. And also, I've heard great reviews from team members that have taken a course through them that say that the app is easy to use, and the mobile app was also very easy to use, and they didn't encounter too many bugs or anything like that. So if you do choose to take the course online, I suggest you take a look at realestateu.com. All right. Who are we? All right. So earlier I gave you guys an intro, so I did tell you a little bit about my upbringing. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. My parents came to Brooklyn from Haiti as immigrants in 1970. I was born in 1977. They bought their first house in 1980. So I was born and raised in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. I founded Buzz Realty in 2010. And our goal is for Buzz Realty to eventually be, recognized as the most trusted virtual real estate brokerage. And we certainly have a technological edge over most other, I'm tempted to say all other brokerages, but the only reason I won't say all is because I haven't seen them all. But I think it's fair to say definitely most, the vast majority. We specialize in real estate residential sales and rentals in the 5 boroughs in New York City and Long Island. We have right now, currently, we have approximately 19 or 20 agents. And we're spread across Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Westchester, Manhattan, Nassau County. We even have an agent up in Albany. Buzz Realty is a member real estate broker of the National Association of Realtors, New York State Association of Realtors, and the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. So when you join one of the realtor boards, there's 3 layers. You join the local level, the state level, and the national level, right? So that's why you see it listed as 3 separate organizations. Most real estate brokerages have access to only one MLS database or none. Buzz Realty is a member brokerage of the 3 largest MLS databases in the New York City area. Those are One Key MLS, Brooklyn MLS, and New York State MLS. And we're also looking into expanding into a couple of other MLS boards in New York City. Now, when you join the team, you do not have to join an MLS and you do not have to become a realtor, right? It's up to you. If you do want to be a realtor and you do want to join an MLS board, there's a fee associated with that. And those fees are paid directly to the board of realtors and directly to the MLS company, right? Those fees are not fees that the brokerage collects. You pay them directly on their own websites. If you decided to join, I'll give you an example. If you decided to join One Key MLS, the total cost would be approximately $800 per year. Same thing for Brooklyn MLS, approximately $800 per year. New York State MLS is less expensive. It's approximately close to $500 per year, and they give you the option to pay it monthly if you choose. One Key MLS and Brooklyn MLS, there's no monthly option. It's you pay it in full. It's an annual fee, and they do it prorated, right? Depending on when you join. New York State MLS, you could choose to pay the year up front, or you could pay it in monthly installments. All right, now the services that we currently provide are property sales, property rentals, property management, consultations. Consultation means that, you can charge people a consultation fee for your guidance, your consultation, right? Your guidance, your advice, that sort of thing. Also, we do have a sister company that sometimes will purchase and flip properties. We've done it just a few times. I look forward to doing that a lot more in the future. So I'm excited about that as well. Okay, so we're currently licensed only in New York State. However, we have active plans in place to be licensed in these other states on the screen: Florida, California, Texas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and the DC, Virginia area. Now, we strategically chose these 7 locations because servicing all of these areas will give us approximately 35 to 40% coverage of the entire US population. So although it's only 7 states, which is 1/7 of the state's total, 14%, but it'll give us 35 to 40% coverage. So, it gives us the biggest bang for our buck, basically. We expect that we'll be licensed in Florida and Pennsylvania by Q1 of next year. And then we'll be working on California and Texas. Okay, so now we'll talk about what is Buzz Realty's value proposition, right? How are we different from other brokerages? What are the things that we offer to new agents joining our team that shows the value that we bring to their business and, their overall productivity and the managing of their overall day-to-day? We're going to spend some time talking about each one of these in no particular order. I want to be clear. It's not in any particular order. I'll start with hands-on coaching and training. So before I started Buzz Realty, I recognized that coaching was really important. I wasn't able to turn around my business as hard as I was working for 6 months until I got some coaching, you know. It was spontaneous coaching, it was unstructured, but it was still good enough to give me the information that I needed to turn around my business, and I went from 0 sales in 6 months to 14 sales in the following 12 months. And I attribute a lot of that to the coaching. Yeah, you got to put in the work. Yeah, you got to work smart, you know. But even with all those things, coaching comes really handy. And I've noticed that, there are some brokerages out there that don't invest enough in coaching or training their agents. Some brokerages, have so many agents, they just look at you as just another line item on a spreadsheet. I personally think that real estate brokerages should invest more in their most valuable asset, who is their agents. Your agents are your most valuable asset, right? Without your agents, you don't exist. So Buzz Realty does invest heavily into our agents, and that's displayed by, you could just take a look at the team calendar. Actually, I'll share it with you right now. Give me 1 second. Here you can see we have a team calendar called Buzz Realty Coach. It's in blue, and it shows the coaching times that we have, right? So most of the team joins the evening coaching sessions, right? So on Mondays at 8 p.m., we have a team pipeline review, where as a team, we go over all of the pending transactions, deals that we have in progress, listings that are active, and we discuss any obstacles related to those listings and transactions. And the team, we collaborate to kind of suggest ideas and ways to get over those obstacles. Also on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 8 to approximately 9:30, sometimes it runs a little longer till 10. We have coaching sessions where we discuss all types of various topics, everything from lead generating, lead conversion, marketing, technology, how to manage your CRM, everything you can think of pretty much. And one of the great thing about these coaching sessions is that we normally record them. So if you happen to miss a session, it's okay, because we record them and then we share them in an internal intranet website that we have. So whenever it's convenient for you, you can go to the intranet website and watch the videos, on your own free time, right? If you choose to join us live, that's great. So yeah, Thursdays, 8 to 9:30 p.m., we have a coaching session that's specific to lead conversion. And the reason is because I've noticed that is one of the biggest actually, I underspoke. In my opinion, that is probably the first or second largest challenge that every new agent has when they get into the business, is especially if you focus on working with sellers and landlords, which is my specialty, right? How do you convince a seller or a landlord to hire you to get the job done? That's lead conversion, right? So we have a dedicated 2 hours a week just towards that. Also, you'll see we have coaching hours in the afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m., right? I call it coach office hour. I make myself available for an hour. Anyone can jump on a Zoom and ask any random question or get any help or assistance with anything. I can also share my screen and do demos, or you can share your screen and show me something that you're struggling with, and I can help you and guide you along, right? So those are Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. And just recently we added live calls. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. Basically, we get on Zoom, and I'll call sellers and landlords, like leads that we have. I'll call them, and you guys can listen in. Everyone's on mute, and you can listen in. And I think it's really helpful for new agents to be able to do that, because you're basically a fly on the wall listening to an experienced broker have very challenging conversations with people with the intent of helping them solve a problem, but also convincing them to hire us to get the job done. And if you listen to enough of those conversations, I think it naturally helps to build confidence within you so that you can do the same thing on your own. That's the goal, right? Now, although we don't have a physical office, this is one of the ways that we use technology to stay connected, stay collaborative, and help each other out, right? We don't need to necessarily be in the same room at the same time to help each other out, right? So, through these coaching sessions and the live call sessions, you can listen in, you learn some tips. In between the calls, we discuss the conversations and I'll share tips on, how to deal with certain curveballs that prospective clients may throw you, when you're on the phone with them. And yes, those are all the hours. So if you add it all up, 9, 13, it's about 18, 19 hours a week that is dedicated to coaching. This is available to you every week, right? Now, there are times when, I'll get on a coach office hour and no one joins for an hour. It's okay. During that time, I'm being productive. I'm getting other stuff done, but I just make myself available. If anyone jumps on a Zoom and needs some help, I'm there to help, right? Similar to office hours that you would have with a professor at a college, right? That's the idea. So, and again, we record the sessions. You can gain access to them on our intranet website. Now, here's our intranet website. It's through Confluence. Keep in mind that all the apps that we use have a web version and a mobile version. And the requirements for the apps that I chose were got to be fast, got to be secure, got to be scalable, got to be easy to use. Those are like the 4 main criteria, right? And all the tools that we use satisfy those requirements, and I'm happy to share that. Now, this is Confluence, and you just come here and you see there's a bunch of various spaces that we have, right? You can go to the coach space, and you just go to coach videos, and here you go. These are all the videos, right? Now we have previous coaching sessions, live call sessions, videos on Chime. Chime is a CRM that we use, videos related to MLS, right? So this is where you would go to watch any videos or research any information or get any questions answered, right? So here's an example. A lot of the videos are videos that we created. Some of the videos, like this one here, is a video that Chime, the company that created the CRM, created. So it's up on YouTube. But in either case, you have access to it here, right? Okay, so let's go back to the slides now. So we talked about hands-on coaching and training. In addition to, coaching you on, how to be a great agent and, all the things that you need as far as lead generating, lead conversion, marketing, all that, we also train you on our internal operations, right? Every company has a certain way of operating. And if a company does not have well-defined processes of how they operate, then usually what happens is chaos, confusion, and, employees usually aren't happy with that. Now, you guys aren't employees or independent contractors, but we do provide you with training on all of our internal processes. And those are also well documented in Confluence. All right, so now I'm going to talk about leads. Okay, so before, excuse my throat. My voice is a little hoarse. I apologize. Before I started building Buzz Realty, or actually before I started recruiting agents to join the team, I held a couple of focus groups with agents that were already in the industry. And basically the questions that we asked were, what are some pain points? What are some challenges that you're having in your current brokerage? What are some things that you wish were different at your current brokerage? What are some things that you wish your broker or brokerage provided to you that they don't, right? And based on the answers to those questions that were most common, we worked really hard to basically address the main pain points that people mentioned. Coaching and training was definitely one of the main pain points. People said, I got my license, I joined a brokerage, but there's no coaching, there's no training, there's no mentoring. I'm lost. I don't know what to do, right? We've addressed that. Another thing that was a main pain point for agents during these focus groups was they would say, I joined a brokerage, I don't have any contacts, I don't have any leads. Who do I call? How do I generate business? I have no leads. How do I generate leads? Or why is my broker not providing me with leads, right? We've addressed that. How? Over the course of the first 9 years of Buzz Realty, I was the only agent within Buzz Realty. That was intentional. I wanted to build a brokerage slowly because I wanted to give myself time to become very proficient and efficient at how I ran my business, and also laying down a solid foundation for systems and technology and just a way of doing things, so that when it did come time to grow and scale the business up, it would be very easy to do that, right? And I think that's just part of the natural software engineer in me, right? I built software for 23 plus years. And one of the main concepts in software is you want to build systems that are reliable, robust, scalable, secure, um, easy to scale is definitely a major requirement for most software systems. So I've realized that, adopting some of those same concepts that apply to technology and software engineering also applies to business in general, right? Certainly to a business like a real estate brokerage. So before we started recruiting agents, I was building a lead generating platform that basically, it's basically a well-oiled engine that can generate leads on demand in a very organized way, right? We do that on a regular basis, and we share the leads with the team. Sometimes it's shared through spreadsheets. Sometimes it's through the CRM. We're actually moving away from the spreadsheets, and we're doing everything through the CRM because that's easier to keep organized, and it's also more scalable. So basically, if you're a member of the team, every now and then you'll get a notification on your phone from your CRM that tells you that Buzz Realty, the brokerage, forwarded a lead to you, right? That's a lead that you didn't have to pay for. That's a lead that you didn't have to work hard to get, right? Now, I will disclose upfront that, for any lead that we generate, that the brokerage generates and gives to you, the commission split on that would be 60-40. You would collect 60% of the commission, and the brokerage would keep 40% of the commission. Now, that's lower than any of the commission plans that we offer to new agents. And later on in this presentation, you'll see the plans that we offer. We give you an option, one of four choices. The 60-40 split is the lowest, and the reason is because in order for the brokerage to be able to generate leads on a regular basis, as we do, it's very expensive. And I understand now why almost no other brokerage does that, because I know now how expensive it is, right? So in order to be able to do that ongoing, the brokerage needs to collect a little bit more from the deal, just so that we can keep that lead generating engine going. All right. So I hope you guys can understand that. If you close a deal with the lead we give you, you'll get 60%, brokerage keeps 40%. However, the 4 plans that we offer, you'll be collecting 70%, 80%, 90%, or 100%, depending on the plan that you pick. All right. Ultimately, you get to pick your own plan. So yeah, so that's why we generate leads, because it was a major pain point for agents that communicated to us, and it's been working out really well. Agents on the team do definitely appreciate how we help out with providing leads. Now, I'll talk a little bit about technology. The first app that I'm going to share with you guys that we use on a regular basis is the Google Workspace. Some of you are probably already familiar. Google Workspace includes Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Meet, which is a video conferencing tool similar to Zoom, Google Contacts, and there's a few others, Google Keep, Google Forms. So when you join Buzz Realty, you will get your own individual accounts to Google Workspace and a whole suite of other tools that we're going to discuss. So that means that your email address, which would be your name at buzzrealty.com, you check your email through Gmail. right? There's a web version and a mobile app. Your calendar would be Google Calendar. There's a web version and a mobile app. If you choose to, you can manage all of your contacts in Google Contacts. That way they sync to your phone. So if anyone calls you, you'll see their caller ID on the display, right? So that's the Google Workspace. In addition to Google Workspace, we use a tool called Slack. I'll share Slack with you. Give me 1 second. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my Slack window, right? The black screen. All right.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so this is Slack. What is Slack? Slack is an awesome tool. There's a web version and a mobile version. It's very fast, very secure, very robust, has great features, and it's a communication tool. It allows our team to communicate and collaborate on a daily basis. When I need to communicate with my agents, I'm sending them either a text message or an audio message or a video message through Slack. Okay, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. It's similar to like WhatsApp or Facebook groups or Facebook Messenger, where you can DM someone, right? You could send someone a direct message like this, right? I could tag Lauren and say, good morning, right? And she could reply back. Now, when you send someone a message, they get a notification on their phone, a push notification, similar to what you would get for Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, right? And then they can reply, right? You can set up your notifications how you want. You can choose to get notified for all tags, or you could choose to get notified for certain channels and not others. If I want to send a DM to one person, that's how I would do it. If I wanted to create, let's say I wanted to have a 4-way conversation with me and 3 teammates, I could come here, do a direct message, and I'm going to include Lauren, I'm going to include Alyssa, and I'm going to include Ben, right? And then I just start typing my message, right? Here you go. One of the great things, if you make a typo, you can go back and edit it. And another great thing about Slack is sometimes your hands are occupied. Maybe you're driving or something, or maybe you're behind a keyboard, and instead of typing, you just want to leave an audio message. You just click this little mic, and then you can send an audio message. You just click the check mark, and that's it. It'll send them an audio message, right? You can send documents. You can send URLs. Let's say I wanted to have a conference call with the 4 people here. I don't need to have their phone numbers, right? I could just click this little phone icon here in the upper right-hand corner, and all 3 of them are going to hear their Slack ringing, like an incoming phone call. And then we could do a 4-way conference call. Let's say we wanted to convert that 4-way conference call into a video chat. We can do that. All I got to do is click this little icon here and turn on my camera, and now it's a video chat. Now we're chatting on video the same way you can do on Zoom or Google Meet, right? Let's say, I wanted to do a demo for these 3 agents and show them something in the CRM. I could share my screen. I just click this little share screen icon in the bottom left-hand corner, and it will share my screen, right? Now, in addition to having direct messages with individual teammates, like I showed you, we also have dedicated channels for different topics. Now, I have way more channels than everybody else just because, I have to deal with the virtual assistants and the back-end operations, and we have a lot of automation channels and all. But the main channels that everyone has access to are these ones here, right? The main channel with day-to-day communications between a team is right here, team chat. This is where it's just everyday chatter, right? We also have a channel for coaching. This is where we share coaching materials, whether it be videos that are uploaded to Confluence, or it could be YouTube videos, it could be articles, all types of things that we share here. Reminders of coaching sessions that we have on Zoom. We sometimes share the Zoom links here, right? We also have a channel for news, right? Team news. Anytime there's any company announcements, we share that in team news. We also have another channel called Team Wins. Now, this kind of touches up on our collaborative culture. Team Wins, this channel is about celebrating the wins of your teammates. When your teammate has a major accomplishment, you should celebrate that win, right? We support each other, we uplift each other, we're not competing against each other, and part of having a healthy, unified team is that every team member has to understand that we root for each other. We're each other's biggest cheerleaders, right? So anytime we have a deal that closes or something that's going on, we post it here in this channel. I don't mind sharing this. I'll share this right now. Here's an example. We recently closed a deal, actually just yesterday. Lauren and Nick, two agents on a team, closed their first sale. It sold at $870K, and the gross commission, as you see here, we do payments electronically. So normally we're getting wire transfers or Zelle payments and that sort of thing. You see here, we got a wire transfer 2 days ago for $65,000. That's one sale. One sale. Now it's going to be split between them and the brokerage, but still, how many times do you see, people making that kind of money in that amount, lump sum, right? That's a unique thing. So yeah, of course, that was a big win for them. That's a hell of a way to end out, the year. And so, the teammates were celebrating them for that accomplishment. All right. So these are some of the channels we have. We also have a coffee break channel, right? Coffee break is where we just this is where we crack jokes, share memes, share personal stuff. Sometimes I'll share videos of my son, he's a toddler, that sort of thing. So that's what coffee break is about. And then we have other channels like team help is if you need help with anything, you can post it in team help. Normally when people need help, they just reach out to me directly, but it's better to post it in team help because that way other teammates can help if I'm not available. And also, since everyone has access to this channel over time, it becomes a great knowledge database where people can search through Slack and find information they're looking for. That's another great thing about Slack is it has an excellent search feature. And when you search, it doesn't just search the text, it also searches audio recordings. So if I leave an audio recording talking about 123 Main Street, and then I search for 123 Main Street, it'll pull up that audio recording and say, yeah, this recording mentioned 123 Main Street, right? That's a great search feature. And, we've had so many topics over the past couple of years. You can pretty much search anything and probably, get some hits, right? Like how many times foreclosure came up? Dozens, right? That just gives you an example. All right. So yeah, Slack is a great communication and collaboration tool. It's been used in various industries for well over a decade. They've gained a lot of popularity in the past couple of years, primarily due to COVID and people having to work remotely. But, I, as a software engineer, I've been using Slack for over, I believe, 12 years now. And it's an excellent tool. It actually helps us stay connected in ways that are better, in my opinion, than a physical office. And I'll give you an example how, right? Let's say that you work at a brokerage with a physical office. You got a new listing. You want to inform your team. How are you going to tell them? Are you going to send them an email? That assumes that you have everyone's email address. And if you do, you don't know when they're going to get that email. Some people don't even check their email. Are you going to send them a text message? That requires that you have all their phone numbers. Do you? Maybe not. I don't know. But typing them into your phone certainly would take a little bit of time, right? Let's say you said, you know what, I'm going to go to the office and tell my teammates about my new listing. Okay, you go to the office. Is everyone going to be there? Probably not. The agents that are in the office, they're not making any money. So you telling them that you got a new listing probably ain't going to do you no good. It might get you bragging points, but that doesn't translate to dollars, right? The agents that are making money are the ones that are out in the field. So you go to the office to tell everybody you got a new listing, but the ones that you want to know are out in the field. That was a wasted trip to the office, right? At Buzz Realty, if I wanted to communicate that I got a new listing, I could just go to team chat, and I can just go to the team chat and just tag the entire channel, the entire team, and anyone who happens to be online and say, new listing. As a matter of fact, it's even easier than that because one of the internal processes we have, when you get a new listing, you have to complete a web form. And when you complete that web form, it automatically posts in in the team sales channel, right? So without you even creating a message to let your team know, just by virtue of the fact that you filled out the web form, every team member will get a notification about your new listing. You didn't have to drive to the office. You didn't have to make no phone calls. You didn't have to text. You didn't have to email. It's a lot more efficient, right? So that's just one example of how we use software tools to be, in my opinion, more efficient and more connected than some brokerages that actually have a physical office. All right, so that covers Slack. We covered Google Workspace. We also covered Confluence, but I'm going to show it to you again just for a minute. Confluence is a tool that we use. It's basically our internal intranet. It's a website that only the team has access to. And we share videos, audios, scripts, PDF documents, templates, all types of stuff, right? It has similar to Slack, it has a great search feature. So let's say you were looking for scripts. You're about to call some sellers and you need some scripts. You don't know what to say. Here we go. There's several pages here for scripts. I'm going to click on the first one. Here's a list of scripts. Scripts for different types of leads: for rent by owner, for sell by owner, pre-foreclosure, pre-probate, auction, etc. You can click on any one of these and just follow the script when you talk to someone, right? It's not perfect, but certainly gives you a good starting point. So Confluence is our internal digital library. It has a mobile version that works equally as well. So you can watch videos and listen to recordings while you're on the go. One of the great features, a couple of great features about Confluence. Number one, if you find a page that you like, you can star it. If you put a star on it, then anytime there's any edits to that page or anything added, you're going to get a notification letting you know that there was a change or an addition made to that page, right? Another great feature is the fact that any member of the team can create their own pages. Any member of the team can also edit any pages. So if you come across a page and there's a typo, you can correct the typo. Just click the little pencil icon and just edit it. That would be a cool thing to do for your team, right? If you want to create a new page, let's say you did some research and you came across a bunch of, awesome websites that send postcards for you electronically, right? And you want to create a page with a bunch of URLs to share with your team. You could just create a new page. You come here, you click the plus sign, you create a new page, and then you click publish. And then once you publish it, you could then share the URL with everyone in the team, maybe in Slack, right? So those are some of the features of Confluence. Over time, it grows into a really awesome knowledge database. I'm sure I often add pages and videos here. So every couple of days, there's new pages and videos being added, right? So over time, it's going to become a massive database of a bunch of learning materials, coaching materials, recordings of people talking to sellers and coaching tips and all that sort of content. All right. So another tool that I'll share with you is Chime. Chime is our CRM of choice. Now, keep in mind that all the tools that you'll have access to, you have your own account, but you're not paying extra for those accounts. Yes, every member of the team pays a monthly fee, but the monthly fee is very small and very affordable compared to the actual prices you would have to pay for these tools if you bought them on your own, right? I'll give you an example. If you were to buy Chime on your own, you're going to spend at least $300 to $350 per month minimum, right? But the monthly plans that we offer are much less than that. And we're giving you an account. You don't have to pay for it, right? So I'm going to show you Chime. This is Chime. This is it's a CRM. CRM stands for Client Relationship Management. So it's a client relationship management tool. And here's some of the features that it gives you that will help you to build and grow your business, right? I tell my teammates all the time, if you're relying on memory, you're going to have a hard time competing with the best agents out there. The best agents out there do not rely on memory. As a matter of fact, in any industry, I don't care what the business is, I would say that it is a major mistake for you to rely on memory for anything. Your day should be dictated by automated and consistent, systems and automated campaigns that basically tell you what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. Who should you be calling? What tasks do you need to complete? Who should you be texting? Who should you be sending postcards to? That sort of thing, right? So a CRM like this, number one, you can record all of your contacts with all of their contact information, right? So if I click on any one of these names, you'll see that here on the left-hand side, it gives you their name, phone number, email, mailing address, everything. You got their phone, so you can send them texts or you can call them. You got the email, you got their mailing address, so you can send them postcards or letters, whatever you want to do, right? Now, here's another great feature. In addition to acting as a Rolodex, right, storing all of your contact information, here's some of the things that you could do on your contacts. Let's say you wanted to send this person a postcard. You could send mailers right here. You could send them a postcard or a letter. Let's say you wanted to send them a text message. You just click text right here. Let's say you wanted to call them. You can call them right through the CRM right here. Let's say you wanted to send them an email. Just click the email. Okay, this one, the email button doesn't work because you'll see that we don't have an email address for him. So that's why you can't click email. Now, when you send a text, notice that you could type the text here, or if you want to use a template, you could just use one of the templates that exist in the CRM here. If you don't like the templates that are here, you can create your own, right? You can create your own templates. But you just type the message and you click send. It's that simple, right? Same thing with the call. Now, in Chime, you can choose to have your own phone number, so that way people don't need to have your personal cell phone. So if you click call here, the caller ID they're going to see is not your personal cell phone. It's going to be the virtual phone number that you have through your Chime account, right? So those are some of the features that you can do. You can set up automated campaigns that show you, that do things for you. Like they send automated text messages every few days, automated emails every few days. They put reminders on your calendar, to do certain things, right? There's a calendar tab where you can manage your calendar tasks. Here, right? There's a transaction tab where you can look at your transactions that are in progress, right? You can look at it in list format like this, or you can look at it in, this is called Kanban format, the vertical columns. I refer to that as Kanban. And, it gives you summaries of what's going on, right? We just recently moved to Chime, so we're still moving some data over, but these are actual transactions that we have ongoing or recently closed, right? And you see how it breaks it up between buyers, sellers, and rental transactions, right? Or you can look at the all tab and it gives you a summary, right? So the fact that you can manage your transactions here is awesome. The fact that you can manage your contacts, you can send them mailers, automated campaigns. Basically, this system is working for you even when you're not working. While you're sleeping or working your day job, your Chime account will be sending automated text messages and emails and filling your calendar with appointments and task reminders, right? Very powerful. If you didn't have Chime, how would you do it? Sticky notes and pen and paper? That would be chaos. Some people try to rely on memory. Here's the problem with relying on memory, or one of the problems with relying on memory. When you rely on memory constantly throughout the day, you're juggling through the things in your head. Oh yeah, I got to remember, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to do this by the end of the day. So you constantly get distracted by having to manage remembering all the things in your mind. So it literally is taking up mental real estate, pun intended, right? It takes up mental real estate for you to have to remember things. So that's, 30% of your brain is not even accessible because it's allocated to just remember shit you got to do that you don't have an organized way of keeping track of. So right off the bat, you're going to be at a disadvantage because when you're competing against brokers like myself or other brokers out there that have been doing it 3, 5, 7 years, they're going to eat you up. Because while you're trying to remember, their CRM is telling them what to do, and you forgot to call the seller, and guess what? They're already knocking on the seller's door, right? So I definitely encourage all teammates to leverage this piece of technology as much as possible. Now, another great thing about Chime that you'll get with your account is you also get a free website. everyone gets a free website. You can configure it how you want. The URL would just be your name.buzzrealty.us, right? And here you can come and you can actually configure your website. You can change the background image, change your profile photo, add pages, remove pages, right? There's a CMS editor here where you could basically click and drag, different components, into your website, right? You can edit components, everything. So you can customize the website to look however you want it to look. And every agent on the team gets a free website. If you were to try to buy or build a website on your own, you'd probably pay at least several $100s, if not thousands of dollars. And on top of that, you would probably have to pay a monthly fee for someone to update or maintain your website for you. At Buzz Realty, you get a free website. You could build it, customize it, maintain it on your own, and you're not paying anything extra for that. All right. Okay, so now those are the main tools that we use. There's a couple of others that we use. SkySlope being one of them. We use SkySlope for transaction management. I'm going to show you quickly what that looks like. We won't spend much time on it. Just 2 minutes. Okay, so this is SkySlope. It's a transaction management tool. It's an all-in-one solution for managing transactions. So once you have a listing, you record certain things in SkySlope. I'll give you an example. Here's an example of a listing that we have, right? There's a checklist. The checklist gives you all the list of documents that you should be collecting on this particular transaction. The listing paperwork, the disclosures, whatever it is that you need to have signed and recorded with the brokerage is here. If it's in red, that means that it has not been approved yet. So here's the way it works. You as the agent, you're responsible to get documents signed. When you get them signed, well, we do electronic signatures, right? We're a paperless brokerage. All signatures are electronic, which is great because that means that, yes, it's good for the environment. That's number one. And it allows us to be a lot more efficient. I don't need to drive to someone's house to get them to sign documents. All I need is their email address, and I can send them documents to sign electronically, right? Documents that are signed with wet signatures, pen on paper, they can get lost, which is a security and privacy risk, right? It takes time and money to go and meet with the person to get it signed and then bring it back to your brokerage, right? It also is more administrative tasks because you have to scan and upload it, and then you would have to mail the originals to the brokerage. Or if you want to come and meet with me somewhere, we can go get some drinks and have brunch or whatever. We can meet in person and you give me the paperwork and it gives us an opportunity to catch up as well. That's perfectly cool as well. But the point that I'm making is that, wet signatures are definitely less efficient and take up more time and is more prone to human error and opens you up to privacy and security issues a lot more than electronic signatures will ever do. Right. So that's why we are a paperless brokerage. We do everything electronically. So you upload the documents. If you did an electronic signature, it's automatically uploaded for you. And then you just assign it to the appropriate form name. And then a broker has to approve it. Either me or some admin person will approve it. And then at that point, it says completed. Otherwise, it'll be pending. If it's in blue, required, that means that you haven't uploaded it yet. So one of the brokerage rules, and this is a rule you'll find in any brokerage, no monies get dispersed until all paperwork is accounted for. So if you didn't upload an agency disclosure form or the contract of sale, you're not getting paid until you upload that. Because it is required by, some of these documents are required by state law, federal law, some even required by ethics. We need these documents for the brokerage. So our way of making sure we get those documents is we tell agents, you're not getting paid until you have all the documents. So before your deal closes, days in advance, you should make sure that SkySlope has everything that it needs. Otherwise, your payments will be delayed. All right. You'll get it eventually. It's just going to be delayed. So those are the main features of SkySlope: the ability to upload documents, have an approval process, and the ability to do electronic signature through their app called DigiSign, right? And again, they have a mobile version that works pretty well. They're actually rebuilding their mobile app, so it's going to be even better towards the end of 2023 when they release it. But here you go. That's SkySlope. All right. In addition to the tools that I've shared with you, we also use a couple of other tools that we have shared accounts for. Geodata Plus and PropStream. Those are two tools that we use for looking up property information. You know, we have access to look up property information on any property in the United States, right? These are team shared accounts. You're not paying extra for it. So we share with you the username and password, and you can log in and do whatever research you need to do whenever you need it. And then we also have a tool called Rental Meter. Same thing. If you want to look up property information, but specifically for rentals, you can use Rental Meter. It'll give you an estimate of the value of an apartment for rents, recent apartments in the area that have recently rented, that sort of thing. So if you're trying to help your client to figure out a fair pricing for their apartment, you could use a tool like Rental Meter to give you a good estimate of the fair market value of the rent in that area. All right, so those are the tools that we use. You know, as I mentioned before, the brokerage does lead generating. So we have you know, systems in place internally to generate leads on a regular basis, and we distribute it to all teammates. We normally distribute it based on your zip code requirements, right? So based on where you live and based on the areas that you want to work, those are where you're going to get the leads. And most of the leads we get are sellers and landlords. Occasionally we'll get, you know, a buyer lead. We get tons and tons of renter leads. And to be honest, I don't even really call those leads, you know, because the rental market in New York is so unique that it's not hard to rent an apartment. You know, if you're representing the renter, yeah, it's going to be hard to get that deal. But if you are representing the landlord and you have control over the inventory, the apartment for rent, you're going to rent it. You're not going to have a hard time renting it. You just got to go through the proper, you know, vetting process and marketing and all. And also, we also have tons of automation in place. I didn't spend a lot of time demoing the automation we have in place, but we have Google Forms that are set up to automatically post into various Slack channels and that sort of thing. And, you know, the automation really helps us to be efficient. You know, I'm pretty sure that the automation that we're doing is on a level that most brokerages, I would say 99% of brokerages, you know, are nowhere near doing that kind of automation. Okay, so we talked about technology, leads, coaching, systems and processes, and we talked a little bit about our collaborative culture, but I just want to reemphasize, you know, we have the Slack channel where we boost each other up. You know, I think our collaborative culture is very apparent in any meeting that we have, any Zoom meeting or any conversation. You see it in the agents and how they interact with you, you know. And I'll be frank with you guys, there were a couple of agents over the past year plus that I thought were not good team players, and they got terminated just for that reason. You know, if you're the kind of agent that is going to hate on another agent for closing a deal, or instead of celebrating their win, you're jealous or whatever, like, okay, that's fine. You can do that, but not at Buzz Realty. we definitely don't want or need that kind of energy. So yes, we are very collaborative, and it shows through how we communicate and the tools that we use. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the flexible commission packages. Okay, so we've summarized our commission packages on one web page. So I'm going to click this link and share this page with you. Okay, so this page here summarizes our commission packages. Now, I mentioned to you that prior to recruiting agents, I held some focus groups and asked agents what were their main pain points. And one of the main pain points that was mentioned, one of the top 5 main pain points, was agents said that they wish their brokerage's commission splits were more fair. They thought that the brokerage was charging too many fees. They did not understand the fee structure because you would have to read pages and pages of documentation to even understand the fees that you're paying and why. And they just wish that their brokerage offered them a simpler commission package, something that's easy to understand, and something that gave them options. They wanted options, right? And we believe here at Buzz Realty that we've addressed those main pain points. So number one, simplicity. It fits on one page, right? You don't need to read pages and pages of fine print to understand the fees. It's all right here on the screen right now. Number two, options. Agents want options. Okay, so we don't tell you where your commission split is. You get to pick. You get 4 options. You can choose either the 70-30 plan, the 80-20 plan, the 90-10 plan, or the 100-0 plan. Now, the first number is the percentage that you collect as an agent from any commissions that you, from deals you close. The second number is what the brokerage keeps. So if you choose a 70-30 plan, that means that for every deal you close, 70% of the commission you'll be paid, and that payment will be sent to you electronically, either through Zelle or direct deposit or through wire transfer. We don't do paper checks. We don't do cash ever. Yeah, so you would get the 70% and the brokerage would keep the remaining 30%. That 30% stays with the brokerage because that helps to cover the cost of basically running the brokerage, right? Same thing for 80-20. You would keep 80, brokerage keeps 20. Now, you'll notice that every package that we offer has a monthly fee. If you choose a 70-30 plan, your monthly fee is $125 per month. If you choose the 80-20 plan, your monthly fee is $175 per month. And if you choose a 90-10 plan, your monthly fee is $500 per month. And if you want 100% commission, you certainly can have it. Your monthly fee is $1,000 per month. Now, as a new agent, I strongly encourage you guys to choose one of the 2 lower plans. Either choose 70-30 or 80-20. 90-10 and 100-0, their monthly fees are too high, in my opinion, too high for a new agent. I don't want to see new agents spending that kind of money until they know how much they can produce in their business. Now, after your first year, or maybe after your first 2 years, maybe you'll reach a point where you know that the 100-0 plan makes the most sense for you. As an experienced broker, if I was to join Buzz Realty, I would choose the 100-0 plan because ultimately that would put the most money in my pocket, right? So agents often ask, why do I have to pay a monthly fee? What is my monthly fee for? I've also had agents say to me, why would I pay $125 for a job? Here's my answer. This is not a job. This is a business opportunity. I am not your boss. I'm your broker. I'm your coach. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm your support. I'm your guide, right? The brokerage provides support in the form of hands-on support, communication with me, other teammates, and also through tools and systems and apps that we provide, right? So it's not a job, it's a business opportunity. And with any business, you have to be willing to invest in your business. You have to invest time, you have to invest energy, you have to make some sacrifice, and you have to invest money into your business. Now, if, that being said, there are brokerages out there that have 0 monthly fees, and that's fine. You could join a brokerage like that, but guess what? They're not going to give you the coaching. They're not going to give you the leads. They're not going to give you the mentoring. They're not going to give you all the software tools. They're not going to give you your own website. You're not going to have your own CRM. You're going to have to figure out what email account you're going to use on your own. They're not going to give you business cards. And they're not going to give you an internet library of coaching materials and all types of resources, right? If that's the kind of brokerage you want to join, by all means, you're free to do that, right? But often is the case when agents join those 100% brokerages with no fees, they end up paying the money regardless. They're just paying it to a different party, right? Because if you join a brokerage like that, okay, you're going to need leads. Are you going to generate leads? How are you going to do it? You're going to send postcards? Okay, now you're spending $150 a month just on postcards. If you need a website, how are you going to do it? You're going to build it? You're going to hire someone to build it? Okay, now you're going to spend $1,500 on a website plus $20 a month for someone to host it or maintain it, right? You're going to need coaching. How are you going to learn the coaching? Are you going to pay for some, Facebook course out there? There's tons of gurus out there that offer courses, $80 here, $97 there, $100 there. You're going to pay one way or another, right? The question is, do you want to pay into a brokerage that gives you an all-in-one solution? Or do you want to, pay piecemeal, little by little, and nickel and dime yourself to a point of being broke, and that's what a lot of people do. They'll say, oh, no, I'm going to join a brokerage with no fees. Okay. And then they end up spending $700 a month to run their business. And then at the end of the year, they gross 10K, they spent 7K, and they're like, oh, wow, I made $3,000 this year. Right. You would have been better off just joining a brokerage, paying $125 a month, You probably would have grossed more than 10K, and you certainly would have spent less than 7 grand. So you would have netted more of your money, right? So I recognize that Buzz Realty is not for everyone, and that's fine. But if you are an agent that is a new agent looking for support, looking for coaching, looking for leads, you don't want to invest in building your own website on your own, you don't want to spend too much time figuring out what tools and apps you're going to need, this is an all-in-one solution that, you pay a reasonable monthly fee. It's due on the first of every month. We collect fees through Zelle. We also accept Cash App or Venmo if you must, but Zelle is preferred because it's more secure. And you'll be a member of a team that will actually help you build and grow your business. Now, if you choose to pay the whole year monthly fees up front, you can certainly do that. It'll be a 25% discount, right? So for example, if you chose a 70/30 plan, 125 a month, what is that? That's 1,250. That's 1,500 a year, right? If you pay it up front, 25% off, 25% of 1,500 is what? 375. So it's 1,500 minus 375. So 1,125. You'll pay 1,125 for the whole year, right? It's basically 3 months off, right? So you're paying 9 months. Is that right? Yeah, 3 months off. That's your choice. You don't have to do that. Now at Buzz Realty, there's only 3 fees that we charge. The first one I just told you about, the monthly fee. You pick the plan, and the plan that you pick determines the monthly fee. Now, the second fee that we charge is a one-time setup fee. So you pay it one time and you never pay it again. The one-time setup fee is $200. You pay that on the day that you join and never again. So if you're on a team for a year or 10 years, you'll never pay that setup fee again, right? What is that $200 for? It helps the brokerage to cover the cost of recruiting and the administrative costs of setting up all your software accounts, ordering your business cards, setting up your website, etc. Right? There's an administrative cost associated with all of that. And of course, again, recruiting. The recruiting effort is very costly, so that's what it helps to cover the cost of. Also, it covers the cost of sponsoring your license. We're not going to charge you any extra fees for that. And as I mentioned before, your business cards. When you join a team, everyone gets a complimentary 500 business cards, right? So that's the one-time setup fee. Now, the last fee that we charge is called the post-cap transaction fee, and that fee is only charged per transaction that you close, and it's only if you surpass the annual cap. Now, before I get into talking about the fee, I need to make sure that everyone understands what the annual cap is. You'll notice that for each one of these plans, there's an annual cap. For the 70/30 plan, annual cap is $21,000. 80/20 plan, annual cap is $20,000. 90/10 plan, annual cap is $19,000. And for the 100/0 plan, the annual cap is $18,000. So what's the annual cap? The annual cap sets a maximum limit on how much the real estate brokerage can collect from your productivity. I'll give you an example. Let's say you choose the 80/20 plan. The annual cap is $20,000. So let's say you gross from January to September, let's say you gross $100,000. Out of that $100,000, the brokerage will have paid you $80,000 and the brokerage will have kept $20,000. Now, at that point, you reach the cap. Why? Because the brokerage collected $20,000 from your productivity, and that is the maximum that the brokerage can collect, as shown here. So that means that on the next deal you close, let's say you close a deal in October, right? You gross 100 grand from January to September, and then October you close another deal. Let's say you get a check for $30,000. Out of that $30,000, how much does Buzz Realty keep? $200. That is the post-cap transaction fee. Since you've already reached the cap, the brokerage will only keep $200 out of any transactions that you close for the remainder of the calendar year. So that means that out of that $30,000 check, Buzz Realty keeps $200, and you'll get a wire transfer for $29,800. Not bad, right? And if you do the math, you'll realize that brokerages that do not have an annual cap, you're going to end up spending a lot more money. A lot of new agents don't even know to ask that question. Because if you're a new agent and you don't even know that an annual cap is a thing, or you don't even know that it exists, then how would you even know to ask a broker about their annual cap? When I got my license, I had never heard of annual cap, so I didn't even ask. When they told me my split was 50-50, I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't even realize that there were brokerages offering 60, 70, 80% or 100%, and some brokerages have a cap, so at Buzz Realty, if you gross 200K, you're going to walk away with at least 178, 179,000, because the brokerage only keeps 20,000 plus the $200 per transaction after you reach cap. So you're walking away with like 178, 179, right? But at another brokerage where there is no annual cap, if you gross 200,000 and your split is 80%, you're walking away with 160. That's a big difference between 160 and 179. That's a $19,000 difference. You're giving an extra $19,000 to the brokerage for what, right? So I'm a strong advocate of the annual cap, and that's why we have it. I'm trying to show the public and show agents that we're vested in your in the growth and success of your business. Yes, when you make money, the brokerage makes money. But that being said, we recognize that if you show yourself to be a star, excuse me, you should keep more of your money. You've earned it. You've earned it. You should keep more of your money. You should get 100% split after you reach the cap. And that's essentially what it is. You get that's why here it says post-cap split, 100-0. Once you reach the cap, your commission split is 100%, and you're only paying $200 per transaction closed. All right. So those are the only 3 fees at Buzz Realty. The monthly fee, it's due on the 1st of every month, regardless of whether or not you close any deals. That's just to be a member of the team. The one-time setup fee is $200. You pay it on day 1 and never again. And then the last fee is only when you surpass the annual cap. And I hope everyone surpasses the annual cap. That's a great place to be, because then you're keeping all of your money, from that point to the end of the calendar year. Now, a couple of things I just want to mention. All agents on a team have full errors and omissions insurance that's required. So the brokerage covers insurance for everybody. You're not paying extra for that. And all of these packages include what we've discussed throughout the session: hands-on coaching, 24/7 support from your broker or manager, 24/7 access to the online courses and internet library of resources and training and coaching materials, leads distributed to you on a regular basis based on your zip code requirements, full E&O coverage, and complimentary 500 business cards. Now, we also have a revenue sharing program. So this is how it works. Let's say you have a friend or a family member or a neighbor that you think would be a great agent, and you want to tell them about this great new brokerage that you heard about, Buzz Realty. If you set up an interview with me and that your friend, if I think they're a good fit and I bring them on board, then you can earn passive income from their productivity, right? Now, let's say that person that joins the team chooses the 80-20 plan. For every deal that they close, they'll collect 80% and you'll collect 2%. So you get 2% out of their commissions for every deal that they close, and you get paid when they get paid. So if the brokerage is sending them a wire transfer for their closing today, you're getting, a Zelle payment or, from the brokerage as well, right? Smaller payments we do through Zelle. Anything less than like $5,000 we do through Zelle. Anything above $5,000 would either be direct deposit or wire transfer. So you would collect 2% of their gross commissions for as long as the both of you are on a team. And there's no limit to the number of people that you could bring on board. That being said, I want everyone to be active agents. I don't want to just have a bunch of recruiters on the team. I want you to be active. This is really reserved for people that you really think would be a good fit into how we work and just the team overall. All right. So that's our revenue sharing program. There are other brokerages that offer something similar, and I think it's a great way to give teammates an incentive to build a team, but not just build a team. We want to build a team with people that are like-minded like us. If you bring someone to me that clearly isn't focused, not tech savvy, not really into real estate, I'm just going to reject them. Like, I'm not really interested in the head count. I'm interested in bringing on quality people onto the team. All right. Now, here's the fine print. I'll share the fine print and then we'll be done. Any fees that you pay to the realtor board or the MLS board, those are separate, and those are not the fees that I've discussed here, right? So if you decide to join, HGAR and One Key MLS, you can do that. There's additional fees for the MLS and board of realtors. As I mentioned earlier, Brooklyn MLS and One Key MLS, if you want to join those two, you have to become a realtor first. So you have to join HGAR, and then you have to join the MLS. So total to join Brooklyn MLS would be approximately $800 to $850 for the year. That's the first year. And then I believe the second year, the price drops, I think by like $100 or more. Same thing for One Key MLS. It's like $800 per year. It's optional. You don't have to join. So if you don't have the money, you don't want to join right away, that's fine. You don't have to. New York State MLS is different. It's a little bit cheaper. It's like $500 a year, or you could pay monthly. And again, those fees are separate. They don't come to Buzz Realty. You pay them directly. Any leads provided by the brokerage are split 60-40. That helps the brokerage to cover the cost of generating leads. So you'll keep 60%, the brokerage keeps 40. If you don't want to work any leads given to you by the brokerage, that's fine. One of the great things about being an independent contractor is that you're always in control of your business. I can't tell you how to run your business. I can't tell you how many hours to work. I can't tell you when to clock in and when to clock out, right? When you need me, I'll be available, but I'm not checking for people, right? So, you're free to run your business how you wish. There are no hidden fees whatsoever. All the fees that we charge are what I just mentioned, the 3 fees that I already mentioned. All the fees count towards your annual cap. So if you pay, $1,200 in fees, that goes towards the annual cap for the plan that you chose. Once you reach the cap, your monthly fee ends. So that means that if you reach the annual cap from January to September, that means that you're not paying a monthly fee for October, November, or December, right? The annual cap means that we've capped out, we've maximized the amount we're going to collect from you. So you're not paying monthly fees after that. Now, you can switch your plans, but it has to be done between January 1st and January 15th, right? That's the window of time for you to pick and choose your plan. Once you pick it, after January 15th, that's the same plan you're going to have for the remainder of the calendar year, right? And you can switch every year if you want, totally up to you. And your monthly fee is prorated based on the day that you join. So let's say hypothetically someone joined today. Well, actually, it's the last day of the month. So I wouldn't charge you a 1 day prorated. It doesn't even make sense. So you would just pay for January, right? But if you joined in the middle of the month, December 5th, let's say it was the 15th of the month, you would pay roughly half of the monthly fee for that month when you join. All right. So that covers all the information that I wanted to cover regarding our commission splits, our annual cap, and our monthly and the fees that we charge, as well as the value proposition that we offer to all new agents.